Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Chicago White Sox March to October. In the last one, we took Game 1 from the Yankees. We have been on a roll in the postseason so far, except for that very first game where we had a little bit of a hiccup there and we lost it. We haven't lost since then. 4 games in a row we've won. Our offense is just lighting it up and our pitching is doing a pretty good job at keeping the other team to a low number of runs. And so far, it looks like that's not going to change in this next game. We're fortunate enough to be loading in here to Game 2 of the ALCS with a 3-0 lead already in the top of the 6th. There's not really anything else to go over before we get into this game, so let's just hop right in and get the job done.
So the White Sox got the result they wanted in the series opener yesterday. Heidi, how would you assess this team's attitude entering today's contest?
Well, Matt, this club got off on the right foot with a big win in Game 1 of the 7-game series, but there was no self-congratulations going on in the clubhouse before this Game 2 matchup. These guys feel like they need to approach every game like it's a decisive game, and as one player told me, winning yesterday doesn't do anything for us today. So it sounds like this team is pretty locked in on the task at hand, guys.
Well, I don't get why the ERA always is messed up on those comparison screens, but Yoan Moncada coming up to the plate today. He's got a home run with 3 RBIs, so that means our 3 runs so far in this game have come off the bat of a 3-run homer from Moncada. Wow, and right away to start off this game, it's another walk. 4 pitches, none of them even close. We are getting walked so much in the playoffs so far. This is very good. This is a good start. I forgot to mention at the very beginning of this video here, keep leaving your team suggestions in the comments for what you want me to do next for March to October after I finish this White Sox March to October. I'm not set on what team I want to do next. People have been leaving their suggestions for what team they want to see. I still don't know how I'm going to select that. I probably should figure that out soon. But yeah, just keep letting me know what teams you want to see and why you want to see them. And I think Edwin just put 2 more runs on the board, turning on a fastball up and in. Edwin is continuing to light up the postseason, just like everyone else is, if we're being honest. We are just, our bats are just electric. It's ridiculous at this point. And now Mazara on the very next pitch. Oh, it hits off the wall. Man, I thought we went back-to-back again. That would have been 2 games in a row back-to-back with Edwin and Mazara. But Mazara hitting that one off the wall. Another extra base hit for him. He's been electric too. He had 2 strikeouts in this game already, though. And it looks like that knocked Severino out of this game. So once again, we're going to see that Yankee bullpen and try to eat into it. Wow, this guy just pitched the last game, and by the looks of it, he pitched 2 1/3 innings in the last game. How does he have the energy to come right back out and pitch in this one? Jose Abreu is probably the one guy that's been struggling, or at least is seemingly struggling in the postseason so far. At least the only guy that comes to mind. I don't know. Maybe I'm forgetting someone else, but his average is in the 100s. I feel like he just hasn't been doing much. I think the last game against the Astros, he had a pretty good game, but other than that, I really can't think of any standout games here. Abreu, that one actually is hit better than I thought. Oh, and it's going to sneak out too. Oh, I didn't think that was going to leave off the bat, but it went like 5 or 6 rows back, 360 feet. Wow. Just as I said, Abreu hasn't been doing that well. He comes out and hits a 2-run homer. This is, I don't know what's going on anymore. This is legend difficulty. I mean, you saw it as we were loading in, but that's our second 2-run homer of the inning. We're breaking this one open 7-0. We should just be able to cruise to the win, right? All right, we're finally pitching here in this one after a 4-run 6th, and it's going to be Jordan Montgomery, or it already is Jordan Montgomery on the mound. Kind of a little bit of a homecoming game here, because this is former team. If you remember way back in this series, I think it was the second trade we made was for Jordan Montgomery from the Yankees. Added him to the starting rotation. He's been pretty solid, and I'm sure if, you know, a line of code can have feelings, this game's got to feel pretty good for Montgomery having a shutout in the 6th against his former team because the Yankees just weren't playing him. I think it was like this year and the season before, he didn't have any stats acquired because he just wasn't playing, and then he gets traded immediately. He's in our rotation, and now he's shutting out his former team in the ALCS. That one we're not going to be able to keep in front of Robert, and he got into a bad animation there. Man, we might have been able to get him at 2 if I was able to cut that off. Grounder to short. Bad pitch location, but it's going to get the job done. Scoreless 6th. 3rd walk of the game already, and they're starting the 7th out the exact same way as the 6th, and that worked out pretty well for him, didn't it? Maybe we'll be 11-0 by the end of this inning. Another walk. I can't believe how many walks and home runs are being allowed in the postseason so far. Oof, yeah. When you're struggling, you still can't leave that pitch over the middle to Eloy. It's only going to be a single, though, because the short fences, but it's going to get the run in and move the runner up to 3rd. 8-0 now. This is really, I don't know, man. There we go. There's Mazara's home run that he missed by a couple of feet in his last at bat. And there's another 4 runs this inning. I'm literally at a loss for words. Like, it feels like I'm playing on rookie at this point. I don't understand it. I am just lighting up the scoreboard here with these guys. Well, I think at this point, I'm probably not going to show too much more from this game unless something big happens, like another run or another run for them. I shouldn't say another because they haven't gotten one yet. They might have gotten one. I left a fastball over the zone. Stanton's not going to miss that. Ooh, Robert actually almost got that. Shame, though, that Montgomery can't get through any more shutout game or shutout baseball here. I was kind of hoping he might be able to pitch a shutout against his former team, but it's still a really good game. Still a gem. And the grounder to short here in the 8th is going to end the inning. Montgomery, with 8 innings pitched, only 1 run allowed. I think that's going to be the end of his day just because he's starting to get tired. So we'll let him finish it there. Don't want to ruin his great game pitched. We get to see Chapman. All right, interesting that they'd bring him in here, but I'm kind of glad that I get to see him for the first time on Legend in this situation when I don't need to try and come back in the 9th. Well, all right, Chapman just struck me out in order here. Good thing this wasn't a meaningful spot. That is scary, though, if we do have to face him in a meaningful spot, because his pitches were moving, and they were fast, and the slower pitches were slow. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It just fooled me. And the up and in fastball from Colomé ends the game. So we take a 2-0 lead in the series, and now we're going to be going home for hopefully the sweep of the series. This is just ridiculous at this point. Our bats are just electric. They won't cool down. Our pitching in that game was just dominant. Nobody could do anything except the one Giancarlo Stanton home run, which that's almost like paying rent. I mean, it's just gotta happen at some point. All right, let's see how this next game is gonna start out. I wonder if the momentum helps the start of games, because that last one we started out winning 3-0. Our momentum was already huge, so I'm wondering if the bigger the momentum gets, the more of a chance we have at starting games dominant. And I guess it doesn't have much to do with it because we're down 1-0 in the 6th for the next one. Kind of interesting here, though, in the NLCS. I don't know why they play chunks of 2 games like that, but the Cardinals had a 2-0 lead, and the Dodgers stormed back to tie it at 2. So it's not very clear who will be faced if we make the World Series. We can't let the same thing happen to us that happened to the Dodgers, or that happened to the Cardinals. But yeah, that's just about going to do it for me in this one. Pretty straightforward episode this time. I don't know, it might be really short because after those first 2 innings, there just wasn't really much to happen. Make sure if you liked that one, hit the like button for me and subscribe. We are really coming down to the end here of the White Sox March to October. Ideally, probably only 6 more episodes max if we continue playing 1 game in this postseason at a time. But that's going to do it for me in this one. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.